je dage jinso jive sonam je rola benje sanje robar sho sanje jedan zoje chonam la chanjo bado dane gyatsu she dage jinso jive sonam je rola benje sanje robar sho sem chen Deva dan deve jodan dembar yurje semje tamje dunga dunga je jodan dawa yurje semje tamje dunga mebe dewa dan mendra yurje Senjen Hamze Nieran Chada Nidan Ravi Danyola Neva Joje Senjen Hamze Dewa Dan Deve Judan Demba Joje Senjen Hamze Dunga Jeje Dan Rawa Senjen Tamje Ni Mebe Dewa Dan Dan Rawa Jirji Senjen Tamje Niran Chada Nidan Rawa Danyola Neva Jirji Saje Uje Jushan Yodran Ra no je nie de jambande sanje chande me de hawaii rogan nanda shangla jobar sho ye ya ru na mendana ame ya ya. In English, on page number 11. I take refuge in the Guru. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. From now until my enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And by the merit created in this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings never be separated from joyful bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, attachment, and anger. Crowned, anointed with perfumes, strewn with flowers, Mount Meru, encircled by the four continents, surrounded by the sun and moon, I visualize this Buddha field in offering. May all living beings enjoy the pure life. Idam Guru Rana Mandala Ame Yadaya.
오야, 수멍초 간바시 독지정. 가정은 못하는 로고스다. 연대 일마다 이게 동들은 담았다. 니와 선바인 저버려 이능. 연대 일마가 나가지 람르 용주와 지동지나 자기우지나 배디다 그러지. 종종도 또 요르 말을 파 자기우지나 자동 디다 그러지. 그래서 남진 아랑 그랬는데 다 이름씩 송자 신부 람르 천천 노르디와지.
So first I would like to extend my greeting to all of you, and also so we pick the subject, the foundations, the qualities of good, the qualities of all, and also we already studied this together maybe a couple of times. And but anyway, and I consider this foundations practice. It is the most important, and which I consider as the combine the all the Lamrim practice or the teaching, and which talk about the foundation itself, as well as the path, as well as the result or the fruitions. And of course, it is the short kind of package, but if we elaborate, it has a very vast meaning and explanations.
또 된자다 당보지는 무슨 당보 가르스나 연등기 지지지진지에서 가르스나 법종지야 당보 냠는지야라 자와 당보 법종지고래 예전에 뜻이고로 법종지와 때라 티섬 곰섬즈니 르바스므로 히럽섬도 기온데 TV 돈도 셔버셔발라 기위신이 된 거래지 다 기위신이 된 거라서다 소긴 게인텐소 게인트 양탁바지 람만노라 다 챙겨지고 요래 때 챙겨들라 샴냥지동 그런다 지식연도 요받든지 뭐래지네 다 뜻도다 치진때 말음지 된데지 소소가 람 챙긴 양탁바 니 송이나 다 때라 소소가 치진때 소소 때문에 기와동 제와 요와 때라 안지 강샤바들 가송 저도 진게 되지네 지선당에 당에나 네 바바도마이 소소가 때문에 안티 때라 때는 람 되지 가랑 무일인데 버는 접 탑사래 선에 이치당 때 마노라 된다가 소소 샘당 당 주요소나 때라 때는 바이바지네 기십지 그 전부 때네 아니때 못하네 탈교부 쇼치 세 도도노 뜻이게 그러지.
So when we look on the foundations practice, which is on the page number 14, at the very first stanza, it's talk about the qualities of the guru master, and the finding the good master, and then solely relying on the teachers once we found the authentic teachers. And of course, first of all, Lama Tsongkhapa himself emphasized the training or the study at the very beginning. And in order to study or train or practice, we have to go through the three most importance in order to us to enhance our wisdom, the wisdom of listening, contemplations, as well as the wisdom of actual practice, meditations. And of course, when we enhance the wisdom of listening or the collecting the informations, we have to find the authentic or right master or the teacher, or spiritual master or spiritual teacher, and who can lead or who can show us the right path, and not only just showing the right path, but also who are authentic or who are qualified, as well as the who have a great compassion and kindness toward the sentient beings or toward the disciple. And once we found that that great teacher who have all the qualities that I mentioned here, and then we perfectly we kind of rely on the teacher, and and he or she is the one who can show me and who can lead me in order to to us to achieve our dream, our very the practice achievements, and with the great respect, and we show our all interest and effort, and in order to us to get the final or the ultimate destinations.
된자당도 직든디 강마 접근 소소소소 뭐일리로 뭐이든 더블시 발라 당보네 뭐이든 소소가 네와 땡기야지다 베나 조사지식란 로아게 메나 사자데 로르시 발라 참고했으면 요르지 당보 람청겐데네 람만으로 와지 쳇통니까 lam 만들어지고 람 노래나 그런 같이 깔리게니기나 사자대 랩트고 말이지. 직들 대자니 기회신이 같이 보통 소속의 삼노동도 같이 보던 시고 무슨 도종지고 하기 좀 진직들 람 만들어 시고 요러지. 니와 때네 telani ichipya gorse o soso lam ching tela te ku manora yimba ko tasitang dagdang yong thap ko tela tism ta te leb te mayong te yong na men sen tenri ni tism yona tela jik marisi tela ichi sama gorse o pena ngazo tarwadang 탐지 집비 공방 들으나 top 그레이스 이지 sama gorse ta lam nor lam manora chi 근데 지금까지 섬요다 남노라다 남나 티스사다 제 때내때라 네 좋아 손지고 그래 남된 로그 인센 소슨 넘바 손지 첨부 요나 때내 고다다다 샤와든 접고 그래 소 당보 네 소소 무일다 하고 아주 마누라지 이와들라 따뜻 지는 르비 마용 르든 좀 특biệt 맞습어야 티스м 맞죠지네 다시도 20장 맞죠네 소도 다 주지 담자 담보지네 제나 샤워 간다거는 직등 샤워 간다거는 저 어떤 농지 뭐 시도 그러지나 당보 결혼 치가로 곰 가르게는 당보 소소들라 담바유바 지 예담 가르치 지고나 때 된dem바지 뛰노네 어때 다때 르바지나 가르가르 곰 가르 곰 가르 당보 뭐바 가르 봉도 자동 셈노 하고 하지 때는 때라더니 이치지는 하다 써나 소소라 니와도 토박 이치 장마지 때는 맞추지 쏘바지나 수다다 초통도 뭐 이렇게 잡는 도와지 그러지 된자도 좋네 요는 그 당보도 드시고 그러지
So, but this is, I think, it is extremely important here, because it's kind of correct our prior to the engaging in any practice, it will correct our path and the way of the setting our path, and also finding a right teacher, and as well as the self kind of motivations, or the practice and so forth. And at the beginning, of course, again, in order for us to achieve our very the dream or whatever we want to achieve, and first of all, we shouldn't lose our the path, or if we kind of step on the wrong path, and then we might we might end up in the wrong destinations, or we may not able to achieve our destinations because of the wrong or the mislead and so forth. So therefore, the finding the right masters and who can lead us the right path, and so forth. So that's why it's very important. And second is the faith. And faith also, the second thing is before we put our taking refuge and the putting our faith, we have to go through all the necessities investigations. So once we thoroughly investigate, then we without any doubt we take refuge to the master, and whatever he or she show the directions or the instructions, we without any doubt we kind of take the advantage as much as we can. Otherwise, if we still in a doubt with some other things, and then we never able to cannot get anything, and it will create the hindrances to us to attend the liberation as well as the Buddhahood. And the thirdly is the perseverance is the last one, or the effort. And so effort is very important, and with the great effort, and then one could can achieve the the dharma practice, or accumulation, the practice of accumulating the dharma practice, and so forth. Similarly, with the practice, tantric practice, first of all, we have to get all the instructions, and not only that, we have to find the teacher, and then later we have to get the instructions. So once we find the instructions, and that we choose the yidam or the root deities, and then we go through all the instructions, the right instructions, like reciting the right mantra and right realizations and right method, and then with the great effort and the joyfulness, and then we can definitely achieve the our the goal.
또 치치고 말이 직등 게 샤와지기는 동고처럼 뭐 일도 마노라지네 때라 진도 받던 티스메 와지네 제나 샤와든 루트하고 이종 출발이지.
I think this is not only a spiritual path, but also in the mundane activities. If you have a great interest, and then without any the finding a false path or the destinations or the route, then we can definitely achieve our dream.
어떤 람 노르와던 람라 티즘 싸왔던 로먼도 봤는데 다 샤와 간당 전에 가긴 세버지.
So here is the conclusion. One conclude about this practice, the one who step in the wrong path and have a doubt, and also doesn't have an interest or doesn't have any perseverance. So these are the three great obstacles for the practitioner.
오늘 다 니와들로나 난측 예비 다위 된zon데 신든 약간 던지 시기는 님승 것도 용어된 별로 예심을 그렇게 오신 길로 없어야 돼. 단등 아랑도 단다 밀리치 토데 밀린데 로르 특능의 밀린데 배 사천 보인서 그러다 나 아주 밀린데 마르시와 돈 고아드네. 같이 시시와 마서 같이 시기도 돈도 삼로 당시게 삼로 당네 뜻진의 수기라 기도 된데 니와등 담바 지금 저다 된데 그 리스트 아주 된데 잡을 지금 토바드다 그자 전부 당 달라지니 봐 다위 된성데 란치니 반로 되데 배낭 아주 등로를 기도는 같이 시점나 고와 용 말고 용 말도 그런 뭐 지금 가서 가지고 또마도 어때 많이 봐 밀을 때 많이 봐 남수 돈다 봐서 안에 고 정화제나 그때를 티성고 좀 주네 똑바질라지도 된데 그 리튼지 토반데 배 흔들까지 모르겠어보다 신대니까 돈 지시겠네 돈 전부 신대니 버까와데 돈 전부 임바 저런 하고 올다 하고는 또 가르고를 다 때배주 당 거스 리드라네 또 전에 그 용는 다 자서나 고 같이 저는 이마치 코티소 에어만로 티소 상소는 그런 아주 같은 거 남시다 카트니 때네 남시다 저보다 카트니 땅 어디 냠도 용악한 거는 뭐 친들 전에 그게 사업 벨레트 개와서나 비파서나 때 아주 냠도 용무스도 된사다 님즈근 용올레밀로 인당 참여라다 리트 배주당 요거당 거다 스크론티 칼라트니 요거진데 당신이 배주 요거당 거래지 또 인심에 불겨 신기로서다 아니 때 배주당하다 파버터 기위 셈지 쇼라 샤와 링리스무 그 샤와도 야리기 쇼라 인당 참여라 잼픈드 샤다 텐디그 삼로 당토고래 세다서 용올렌서티 텐디그 바당다 남수당다 밀리텐데 배주 요거당 타와지
And so this was the brief explanations of the what we discussed last week, the first verse, and the second one is it talk about the finding or the grasping the right the main essence of the practice, and so first is talk about that we have found the precious human life or the human body, and that can able to express, that have a great potential to comprehend the meaning and the words, and not only that, one can also deliver that very the message to others, whatever we wish for. So we have that kind of great potentials, and so that very the precious, the body itself also is very rare to found, and once we have this, we should take advantage of this precious life or precious human body, to take advantage, to use it in a positive way, in a virtuous way, in a way that we can collect the merit and virtues and the wisdom and knowledge as much as we can. Otherwise, if we just use this as feeding, consuming food and wearing a cloth, and then I think it's maybe very sad. This is not compared to animal. Animal also, of course, they have a great intelligence, but they don't have that much kinds of sufficient technique or the intelligence like we have. Animal can eat, they can find a shelter, and then so on and so forth. But uh, so therefore, we should use this, take advantage of this precious human life or human body, to use it in a good way, and that in a way that we can cultivate the virtues deed as much as we can, and day and night, and try to direct or try to spend our life in the virtuous path. And this is the what is really mean here, is that it is all about taking the essence. Yeah. And so if you read it, second verse, understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly, day and night, take its essence.
다 제땅 아주 참아 다 아랑 거 지금 삼동나 제땅지 인천멜라 인동 산데 배저 동세고 제땅들 달와 제땅 저러 저전에 때 편수 소모하시 우리다 뭐냐 버진데 셈 거지 다 니마르 소소 당보지 삼로 양은 주들 삼로 있고 당네 삼로 있고 소소지 하고서는 그냥 양지다 셈 양지 셈다 양지다 선지선 라서 봤는데 또 너도 하고지 하고는 대양 삼로동 소소 일라든지 저라도 용도면 그 삼로동 또용 어떤 못하니 대용 맞추지니 저나 니마 똑바로 지 쳐조식에서 그런죠 니마를 지 튼슴성 칼라사고 시즌으로 니마 지게텔라 니마 지게나 쳐조식에서 때문에 몸체 소도 만으로 왔지 만다왔지니 삼로식 그런 거 셈양지 그런 하고야 돼 하고 주도 셈네 맞아 지금 몸진 수질은 용안로 가토고 수질한테 소란로 가는 것도 지타와이나 아니 니마를 지는 로직이랑 정도 되니 강리 강집 소소다 지금 용화스다 나한테 소라스 용트바이와 그렇지 되나 아니 아주 띠 곰리 돕소나 아주 센더니 심마 로에나 띠바로 파스파게는 그 곰그티 니와로 니마도 빠지고 되게 니와한테 곰지 걸수 때 파스파 같은 데라 곰장 아주 단다게 리는 토치게 되는데 말고 kokang 삼바나지 일강도 해보고 근데 땅비상로 고마이나 니마도 땅비상로 공부 상고를 고마이나 어디 같을 때도 공부 상라 셉터가 이거 이것도 세고르세.
And of course, when we talk about the precious human body, and of course, we often talk about the eight leisures or eight freedom and the 10 endowments. But let's skip this, but mainly is to talk about the precious human body, to spend this day and night in a virtuous path. And but I think is the most important is here is the whatever we have collected the informations through the practice of listening, and then later on we think, contemplate on those subject and knowledge as much as we can, and whatever you have any kinds of realizations or any kinds of understanding, and then see that that kind of understanding or the essence, practice, and knowledge, do I have or not? And if you don't have, you try your best by understanding, by having realization, try to imprint into your life as much as you can. If you do, then enhance this the practice as much as you can. And for example, every day we eat 3 times a meal, and kind of like a tradition or custom. So why not we should use this kind of custom, maybe not 3 times. If you can, three sessions practice every day, that's good. If not, maybe at least within this 24 hours, at least maybe 1 hour for the spiritual practice, and do this all the necessary practice, the practice of listening or reading or collecting, and then practice of contemplate on those subject and knowledge as much as you can. Then definitely you will have some sort of a realization, and then check yourself and try to the kind of deeper kind of understanding and so forth. For example, compassions and loving kindness. Do I have, when you meditate on compassions and loving kindness and see, do I have that kind of mind? Do I have that kind of affections? And then then if you do this every day 1 hour, then after 1 year, and then you did so much practice, so much the training or the patience, and then you will definitely see the great result after a while. And not only that, because of the habituations or the that kind of habit, it will help us to during the intermediate stage, during the pardo stage. And they're saying like the intermediate stage or the pardo, and that time we have a great kind of power that whatever we think we can achieve that's destination because of the formless, and even because if we used to thinking of pure land or thinking of this such stage practice, then during the pardo we can easily able to the recall all those practice, for example like pure land, then you can kind of get there pure land very quickly.
이와들라 선바데 다 된다게 리가 정도 마르시와 동과 된다 리 정도 토요다 있나 리소유와 치셔버진 리 세당 안으로 통제만 되지 네 남시단도 받들 때라 속세 때라 때내가서 우겨르시베 쪼치라 속세고 리 당 소뉴데 요와데 까치까치까치라 마딱 베랑진 저와제네 까치까치라 측 일만 오진 로그다 왔다시 근데 저놈도 딱 빠른다고 그때 먼지 빠져져 있었나 오라리 리드 까치까치란 로데요 그래서 책임만 로데요 리더 소뉴데 니마치다 안 속가에나 리더 카트도 그래서 속가즈는 가도 롱다 롱비와 컨트롤 줘르데 저동 가좀 중앙 거 저빈 사tin 롱당 쫄라 템비데 남시 저기요자 어떤 거 손한테 저런 거 공부도 로셔서 하는데 이만이 좀 용어지 템진에 담아서서 남시 카트도 그러지 남시 카트에 와서 열두지 비춰왔다 뭐 근데가 디수지 요와도 그런 같은 쟁거다서 그거 소소린데 동이마치가 카트한도에 뭐 하고 그러지 때 하고나 가려서 당기 린데 단단가 카마트 베랑 당기 린데 배추 욕었던 거 때는 데라 린데라 때는 소소를 정신나 세 시마 하다 미고 봉토와서 아니 냠나 저저 이부치나 저기 타르와당 탐치게 비고몽토도 니와지 딘도 통나 요레지 대정이 다선데 비주에 고통 거 선지 또 마땅데 니마치 카트로 그러지 다 카트 소나 가린 거 들어와 된다 그 리땅 소니 카트 소나 다 리땅 프리미엄들 남시 또 냠들 듣고요 말했더니 카트나 가린 거잖아 시위스 리땅 좀 맞아 아주 꼭간으로 좀 나가 용한 나지 시위스 남시 전냠대 용도 가는 거 리딩이 어떨지 센델라지 겨와 무슨 소거잖아 겨와시만 지금 리역거든 봐 무슨 소거인 것 같은데 뒤집어 온 거지 저런 센델라 득자지 라물라지 매 선반 호지 텐데 그 가면시와 장지잖아 겨와시만 저런 득자다가는 남한테 코론 거지 대차 안에 일와라서 봤던 로는 소박이 온 거지 대지는 상이 좀 는데 랑이랑 랭고양이 랑이랑 그 다양이 있는데 되는 시고스 리드 배주 요거 동네 무슨 소거지나 세워시마 강으로 대지 지름 붙이기도 손에什么感觉人个sem了这些， 아마 가용 단데 리라데스 아마 결혼 갈지는 단데 리라다 하고 그러지 레퍼슨 소바치 갈정은 다 단데 리라데나 여시망 아마 갈지를 때 하고 그러 심마 가운데 결혼 semla 가지지 결혼 sem그 삼로 동동 지당 가지 지금 그 삼로 동네 교시마 가운데 다 좋거든 어떻게 해요지 다 아주 쉬우지스다 리당들만 림리뉴도 많고 전용을 말지 뜻이 그러지
And so third one stanza is talk about the impermanence and so what even though we have this the precious human body and all the opportunities, then what happened next? Then we often talk about the impermanence, and here. When we talk about the impermanence, we talk about the aging and the death and the leaving this body, and also often advise that it is kind of good to reflect on impermanence and as much as we can, and because here is mentioned here the Kishila said. Our body is impermanent, not a permanent, and as soon as we stop breathing, and then we call is a dead. That body is not more like the body that we have. We call it a dead body, and so once we, no matter what we have, once we separate this from this body, and then we cannot take anything with us. Even our very precious body, we have to leave behind, and everything we have leave behind. So what we can carry the deeds, the good deed and the bad deeds, and it will follow us like a shadow. Wherever we go, it will follow us. Similarly, our deed and the karma, good karma and bad karma, will follow us, and follow us, and if we did something good, and then of course we can because of the great merits and the virtues, we can able to reborn in the higher realms, such as human realm, God realm, and other realm, or maybe we could attend the liberations and the Buddhahood and so forth. Otherwise, we may take rebirth or fall into a lower realm, such as the hell realm and so forth. So therefore, Buddha said, you are your own master and you are your own enemy. Meaning, if you cultivate a wholesome mind, then you will experience the happiness and joy, and that good deed will bring more a good result in your life. But if you generate feed the evil mind, then it will bring that suffering, not only this life, but also it brings the bad things in our next life as well. So you become an enemy of yourself. So that's why Buddha said, you are your own enemy, and you are your own master. And also Lama Tsongkhapa also stated that you can tell that the very the conditions that you were in the past life, what kind of the merit and deed you accumulate by looking at the present life. By present life, looking at present life, it is fortunes and good and positive and happiness or whatever we have, and then because of the caused by our past life. But if you want to, what you want to be in the next life is up to your hand. So that's what Lama Tsongkhapa stated. Yeah, and Chimahanda Sulam.
심마간도 다디 셈라데스 소소 셈라다 시동
Yeah, not hand, like you check your mind.
총하고 걸 소소 셈 소소 가르면 지나 가르가 좀 수도하고 걸세.
Because you know your mind better than others.
그래서 가는 거 미못 지는다. 소소 논천지 어떤 데기 지요나 들린 교바진 샥바진나 다로 거지 소소 지금 편수 줘봐 개와 이거 지요나 람마트니 지세랑지나 야 공패로 그러지.
So therefore, again, of course, as a human being, we all make mistake. But if we, during the practice or looking at our deed, if we found that we have found any mistake or a bad deed, and then through the practice of confessions and then we can able to purify those bad deeds, and then if we found something good and positive that we have collected, and then by dedicating and rejoicing, then we can also develop more merit and more virtues.
니와 담버니 니위 좀 차성 차와는 보다 개초 타타도 벌써 타도 보던 담버시 일로 단데 니와 담보 가르니 그러나 당보 소소로 리 무슨 소파도 요바 토비요 왔대 마르시 동관데 무슨 소파 소소로 걸어 요다 하고 그러지 때 배주 욕고 당에나 가서 교실 니만 철 카트로 리스미가 카트냈잖아 아니 가르 연구잖아 소소 냠대 용어들 레카노 니오트겠다 남은 데오트 용기 버터 니와 담보니에나 다 결혼 친들라 차상 차와나 보아동다 규일리 편수 소바 총총적인 야 어떻게 득바 준주스 영망 메토 빵 어떻게 득바 차상 차와나 보아동 득바 총총이나 바 매워지 대치 조용 말 가지고 리사 요 말세데 방랑시에다 빵 거르지 기초 다 르바 야기 당네 리가 이 선거 줘 봐간다 지금 야기 당네 무슨 따도 와당 담을었대 따도 와당 담봤어야 디당 넘버 담치대 소소 삼로 당치 다시 당네 소소소라 다시 당네 되나 아니 강요 말씀 던지 용토르다 신기롭세 때라 때니 니와 등가라 트로셔세로 던지
And we'll say. So let's read the third stanza. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays, and death comes. After death, the effect of black and white karma pursue us as a shadow follows the body. And the next stanza on page number 17, finding firm and definite conviction in this. Please bless me always to be careful to abandon even the slightest negativities and to accomplish all virtuous deed. And so here is the once we is talk about the once we have a definite realizations and understanding and convictions, then we kind of 니와 때문에 갈는 게
니와 담보니 곧 임신 가시신도가 담보때 소소라네 단다 그 밀리름 보치 토요 바데
네.
수섬능 니와 담보니 고르 델라 때네 밀리름 보치 델라 때네 소소 바다 드바장 니와 요한테 하고나 일단 차와나 빵 요한은 뭐좀 더 마드나 시위지스 간을 리리 더 드마진도 용주때 게득 리니오티 바트 니와니나 네 소수때 다성 개와도 받아 그바공알라 좋아요.
So when we have a definite the understanding and convictions, then what kind of here is the conviction means here is the firm or the definite understanding is about the understanding the to have a precious the human body, and then thoroughly the investigations by cultivating and abandoning the virtues and non-virtues, even it is the big virtues or maybe tiny virtues or the non-virtues, tiny non-virtues or big non-virtues. We try our best to purify, and because those will follow us, those mistakes will follow us like a shadow.
start the water number single, start the water then say, Pangil said the Chitan Chilla Pangotella in words. So Tsongkhapa, the Jamba and Shishin. Jambaga tene, Jambi Tang any, Gawajina, Jew Dewaywato. Magiwajina, Jew Dingling want some hogwatch, Jamba. Pangil said, Poyotin also Jamba, Shishin said, or the also the or Sosu Tandangi, Gawajin the Magiwajin, Tanging send the same thing to a teller, Shishin Sever. She don't want to go jam, Jamba Shin, never to watch it. Then suddenly in the Gom Rose Red and Yintani, Lissamla, Tassitani, some Naka Chang, Jamba, and then only car shego, the Tamboni. Kajakarsian, Leka Karjin, the Tango, some of the some of the trend, the name on Skizon, the league, Lawland Tamroga. Tango, some of them the Tango, the Temba, the Lawlemato, similar Tango or Hakon, or the Tango Martas, and so. The Chin, Tashi, Poil, Tambata. Then you eat somebody, and the Poil Patong, Poil, the Katina, Cheton Jitting Shaw, Kantan, and the Tonotomos, Yankatsu, the Motor Tango. Jambata seeing somebody in Rona, cutting your Yomars. Poil Patong Dambachi, Bamil Jinita, Bamil semi young Jin, Song Tomando, some net the Manivando. There is an ending of the Motor Donga that the Lamnora, Chumgala, the Mongol. What the Tashi the Batella Poyo Security. Poyola and Chicas.
Payola, the careful.
Okay.
Careful. So here, Tibetans, Geshe, the comprehend this explanation, Payo, and Tibetan we say Payo. Payo, and English here they use a careful, and or the other word may use say watch, right? Watchful, careful. So so here's a careful meaning. Here is the to apply the mindfulness and alertness as much as we can. So here indicating careful means to apply the mindfulness and alertness as much as we can, because if we being mindful and toward any activities, and then activities will be virtue and more productive, more meaningful. If we are lack of mindful, and then maybe we may make mistake, and then maybe creating a misdeed or and so forth. So therefore, here careful means mindfulness and alertness. And alertness is there something that watching your mind, whether we are being distracted or whether we are doing well or not. So therefore, both of them, even we're doing any other activities, these two tools are very important: mindfulness and alertness. And why is important? Because before we deliver to our body in order to act something, or before we deliver to our mouth to say something, it all begin with our mind, right? Come from our mind. It being delivered from our mind. So when it come first here, and before it delivered to through our verbal or maybe physical, we have to correct from here. And how we do that? And here is mentioned, always be careful, meaning always use mindfulness and alertness. Once we're able to use the mindfulness and alertness, then we can able to correct here, and whatever deliver, then it will be more good, right? Positive, rather making more problems. And so that's why it's here is important. And it's similarly, it's not only spiritual path, but also in our daily activities. Those two are very important, I think, like driving a car. If we are lack of mindfulness and alertness, then we might, end up something that create more problem. We end up in an accident by drinking alcohol, or not supposed to do this and that. So because of the lack of mindfulness and alertness.
That you want to step among the Kiku, you have the Mount Sipi Pensoji, Nimuri in the Trevi Devala, Donya Shimbo George in Gilos. 다 아주 높이 칸다지는 미 개발해요. 미 개발 높이 칸다지는 아주 높이 농조 높이 온는 것 같아. 그다 저 러시아 등 아주 농조로. 얘는 아주 농조 받대네. 아주 농조진이 소속 축시 때 맡아야나. 뭐다 득송 축시 때 맡아야나. 전에 단 득송 제 파쇼네 그냥 촌좀 이거 말이지. 대인자 입든 말은 수배 부족. 촌전 특고 말. 얘는 촌좀 맡아 못한데 대중은 타기 별로 잡 대화 탈득제 때 특고를 때 특고 말이지. 입든 말은 때 맞다배랑 전 참sam아 능력 공원 이런 거 참sam아 대기 공원 용식 니차로 공연은 입든 와지 그런 데 일단 뭐 지금 롱거 말이지. 그런 인지나 스배 부족데 스배 부족세데 이 묘목이 근데는 삭지기 뭐 진짜 이 묘목을 좀 인자 때 선받지는 배 탈중을 용거고 말이지. 또 소소하니까 로고는 초시대 선받지 그랬어. 근데 그나다가 예물이 탈이 되와라지. 다스 페이퍼 쪽 때는데 농조조나 탈뜨기 때라더니 개와 종도 능력을 됐다네. 능력 종교요나 능력 종사가 그것도 봐 용랬던 거. 대화 종사가 그것도 망랬던 거랬어. 때 돈이 전부 교신 때 인자다네. 돈도 년주때 내가 처음에 대환도 그 대환도 그 대화 용사가 센덕이나 샘대와 땅 샘시대 땅 리드 용사 토튼다 이거 원다 주버데 그 샘시대 용화 될라 받소지고 디제나 못네 샴당 양지 성 삼로스 보면은 센들라 데키오마 시시만 남세양 될 리튼 하미고 본도 되는 하미고 본도 된 르비 토니 유신의 남 공내 공편이 타와동 모든 카드니 타와 될데 심지 탐지도 농업을 좀 성기겠지 상스 샘경들었던 타마 성기 르바니오 요모이드 받 시드 바세들 시드 바데 강소나 내 소소 탐지게 맞춰서 된데 뭐 남카지 이거를 때자 니무린 타르이 되와 된들라 아니 돈이 전부 겨우시 될라 아니 뒤동만 봐 돈이 샜나 삼로 당고 때때 될라 돈이 전에 티와지 도중에 있고지 될 도중 지조들라 삼로 당 교들라 아니 소소 하고 교들라 또 샜나 곰들라 다섬 잠바 진네어들 곰세 거지.
So next is stanza verse. If I read this, let me read this. Seeking the pleasure of samsara leads to all suffering. They are uncertain and cannot be relied upon. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate the strong wish for the bliss of liberations. And and here, of course, we talk about the many important lesson here, and the bending or purifying the misstate and negativities and cultivating the virtues and so forth, and of course, as you know, since we take rebirth in the desire realm, and we have a right to enjoy all the senses, such as sound and this form and smell and so forth. And but the problem is that we go beyond the limit, or another word is we never contain what we achieve. We want more, and that's we end up having more problems and suffering in our life. And because the when we have those desire achievements, and we have to look and think and whether we can able to use this temporarily desire achievements or not, forever or not, and then whatever kind of desire achievements or the object or whatever we have accumulate and or achieve, then we use them to take all the necessities, important, the virtues and whatever need to take, you can take, and something is not supposed to take or eliminate, then we can abandon those things, and and through that way, and we can definitely able to generate the more the great mind, such as the bodhicitta, compassions, and so forth. And no,
그래. 촉식된 걸 써다 좀.
네, 정신대진료.
오케이. 대비비난.
Yeah.
오케이. 단델라 안에 가르치고 있나 안에 로도 넘버 지세걸. 때 같이 뭐 남기 름바 당보 때란 로동 시기 넘버스 당보 대선 곳에서 유신인 때막 남 당보 자왔더스 거. 니와 때라 로동 남지 다 안에 단줄물리 름보치 임바다 같이 전부 하고 때 맞닥비랑지 니마시가 카전도 하고 카전도 소소님들 리당 림딩 제우때지니 소소 저 강한데게는 때 용지용 받대 하고 근데 인동 참여를 때는 때라 냠는지네 돈이 전부지네 어차피 뭐 높이 연단라니 초시 땡겨 초시 때 소소로 고 강고와 때 당당지 텔리 판칠리다 시로 내기 용하게 때 참으로 지요 높이 연된 거 찍고 텔리 파 막아와서 초시 된지네 어떤 아주 남근능데 다 당보 괜찮이 와도 잘로 됐어 말로지나
So I think it is the most important practice that at the beginning it all the talk about at the beginning, finding a right teachers and the right the path, and it's all about the finding a right, and then the later it remind us we have what we found, the precious human body, and also that also is talk about the even though we found the precious human body, talk about impermanence. That very body also impermanence, and we cannot take it with us. And what we can take the deeds and the merit, and so therefore is again remind us take essence as much as we can, and putting those using this body and take advantage of this precious body and spending in a good way day and night to cultivate the virtues as much as we can, and also purification. And again at the last stanza it talk about the desire, the realms, desire realm, as well as the desire senses we have a right to use, but the problem is we always go beyond a limit, and meaning that we never satisfy what we have, what we achieve. We want more and more. We just use it what we need and take the essence from them, and then abandon those as much as we can. And so basically, it's talk about here. The last one is the practice of containments, and so these are all of this is like something. The talk about the level of the second the stage, and also it is the one of the very important called the four reminders or four thoughts transformations. And the first one is the realizing the preciousness of human rebirth, and the second is the impermanence of life, and third one is the fruits of cycle existence, and the last one is the pleasure and suffering as result good and bad actions. So this is the called the four thoughts transformations, or the four reminders.
허야 나 저기 그래서
So students, now we can it's 11. Now we can have a Q&A.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This is kind of this might not work, but you talked about looking at our life and being able to tell what kind of karma we built up by looking at where we're at now. How come, like in India, or when Buddhism was flourishing, why would that karma go away? It just seems like if you built up a true understanding of reality, why would you lose it then? If that's carrying over to the next life, I could understand if you were starting over again and you just got ignorance and you don't have any merit or good karma built up, you could get off on the wrong track. But if you built such a strong foundation like they did in India, you know, with Tsongkhapa, for example, why? And they talk about how, you know, Buddha will have a Buddha, and then 2,000 or 3,000 years later, we'll need another Buddha because we've become degenerate again. Why do we become degenerate? Why doesn't it take hold and flourish and work in the other direction? Why does it go downhill? I guess if why doesn't the good karma have more effect than the bad karma, I guess?
Nakudi tozo di da only the chimakaje tadul dene jumakan lai jora diga dene do da ani tabena onzo jagala da ani sangi chu thare ni sangi chu thare masani dide tat de hale da nyamlen hale wa de shimana je da nyamlen da dende na je da pe hale dende mambuchi tarwata neba mambuchi re ina ya tanda mutunde ni kharichine ni takhala da mewa de chago rese de peshana ani da chamjam ya ngazu lo ni tong sundong chela ni ngazu tanda dewi tanda mewa chaya de mao da tu nimanga du le se da nimanga du khachil le go resa da nimanga du le go ngoman sangi shoni da choshu thare ndishne ya bu mambu chago da duje ki mambu chago ya da ni nimanga du tak le ro chike 가진이 다 매워도 매워 차고랬어.
그래. 그동안 좀 되지 남기 조합에 산업당내 당거 그때 어디 당다래. 나 적당지나 당 아주 낭비 세당지나 리기 남으로 봐서 레공 그 정말 또 안에 다 상기 좀 된데 시에지네 디 같은데라 미 참마베 저 티성공 수면 레라오 다좀비 고방나 톱톱 하트 된게 망보지 용구요. 강지라 디 소는 그 텔라테니 겨왔는데 디 참저 안에 남산남성도 시타와 됐더니 럼비 다 초서 저바정네 꼬치 딱 비상라 야야로네 아니 당 아주 마마 가르니로 사용도 잘한로지나 당보도 유대 정말 약골 왔다 럼비 봐서는다 가르니로 차로 되는지 지마 가르니로 차네 또 날렌달라 반치다 망보 쪽는 반치도 치송배 쇼지 양을 다 치모 송하세 다디지네 날렌다게 다 잡았어요 저도 날렌다 매적쇼라 데까지는 통모견데 주로 받을 통모와니 통잡고 용데 난다 성조를 디강라 다트도 치소쇼스 최사오 쇼니트네 레감바 상로다 드네 군예배 공로는 니마저 벌써 지금 사오라 니마저네 배 지금 지로라 손도 손네 콜라트네 되게 군예 타마도 니마저네 니마저네 님이 그 옥전네 날랜더 메스 손소 어떤데 로디오다 듣고 소소소 뒤당 끌었던데 저동 아주 마탁배랑 진짜 야야 손에 마마 군주 마마 손에 야 군주 딴딴 짓든데 야커를 미소소리 ngaran sosorong ni la chajana na ta tangbo tarwi tin lo chongchon de ya ko tar chen ni ta jipsing ap chile to ma gol chen de jong ti pa yon den jang go ta chi chajang chi rangjin ro yo ade ma tang pe rang chi gre song chin ni shana ma de chi tham chi ma ta pa se ti nang na song ji 좀 de dom chen bo ji gya yo de chi tham chi ma ta pa sang chi tham chi ding ngal wa nyang li diwa shang go de chi tham chi ma ta pa zin 강 야 싸니 냠대원데 그르비르비 건지비 온 거지로 판매와 차로를 다 드지 담좀 다 봐. 상지 담지 등 나와서데 아니 묘목이 근일랑니 락 톱교 오 강식이나 다 내가 다그 말다 그때는 능이 경우 인로 그다. 상지 담지 등 나와. 치 담지 동상 다음에 봐지. 치 강당 강이나 아니 딱딱 맞다 오 강식이나 그런 딱돈 잔에서만 네버 드바요 말 동비랑 진나 파 양 티로 그다. 근데 양은이 되어 쇼 양은 되어 사데 초롱안에 등에 땅 따위다 차 묘모용 소가 방송 등에 땅 따위다 차 톱고래 톱송 따뜻 땡기시 되다 너무 지겨 버렸지 뒤농나다 사치 담지 마딱 봤어요 또 딜런 땅땅도
Yes, thank you. I always appreciate your questions and your very, very interesting and questions. And it shows that you have a great interest, and I really appreciate that. And but I think in the Buddhist, we talk about the often for the sentient beings karma. It is so kind of subtle and it's hard to tell. Only the omniscient minds, Buddha or the omniscient mind could distinguish and could tell. But as an individual, is the law of karma of the sentient beings is it's very subtle and complicated and hard to tell and hard to distinguish because of there are so many cause and effect and untie all this triangle that it's very difficult to explain. But the during the Buddha time, of course, and because of the power of the wisdom of Buddha's teaching and Buddha's compassions, and because of his present and it was immense kind of benefits toward the participants. And at that time, historically, you can see that there's a lot of arhats or the four destroyer who become at that time and liberate themselves. And but sentient being like me and us, we may be there, but we kind of left behind. But there might be other sentient beings who have a great enough fortune that are able to tend and able to take the essence from the Buddha and who can able to attend the liberation, become arhat and attend the liberations. So, but sentient being like me still remain here. So it's like a material. It's like an object. In a universe in a world when we going to make something out of something, and we go through everything, and then we just collect the best one, and whatever remain, we just leave it behind. And something like this is in a kind of a materialistic way, or in a karmic way, which is hard to explain. And for example, during the Nalenda's the university, and there was the great master and the great scholars and highly attend master there. And there was a lot of ordinary monks who were studying there. So one time there were two beggar came for begging for maybe food or something, and the monks, junior monks, they just tease the beggar and throw the water, and that two beggar made the pledge that they throw the hot water to them to tease them, and the beggars they pledged that we will come back and take a revenge. And what they do, they went back and they accomplished the black magic like a fire, fire magic. And when they came, because of the power of reflections of that magic, it burned the whole Nalinda University. And so one time you see this one of the center of the Buddhist place all over the world who come here study, when then after a while it all burn out, and other cause of other effect, they all scatter and then diminish and eliminate. And so this is like the natural reality or phenomena, and whatever being made or concreted, created, and later on we will see the decay or parted its objects. And for myself, when I was born and study and then age, and now I'm getting old. So this is a natural life. We will see the stage of the very fresh and stage of nourishing, then see stage of aging or decaying. So this is kind of a nature. But so Buddha gave the four seals. All components phenomena are impermanence, and all the defilements are suffering, and all the phenomena are empty and selfless. And nirvana is the Buddhahood. So these four seals. The first one is all the whatever we created and combine or make it or constructed, and then later on we'll see the decay or departing or showing the process of impermanence, and also all the caused by the defilement. It is subject to experience the suffering, and and lastly, all the phenomena are empty and selfless. And also last one is the once be able to separate the defilements and all the negativities, and then there is the ultimate blissful happiness. So I think the second seal, the first seal is the all components are impermanence. Yeah.
좀 다든가 좀 직등 그냥 로리가 때나 뭐 롬체든 잠불롱들 배 그렇게 전부 진짜 정원제체 되지만 엔딩들 소고가 로리잖아 배 너무 너무 강원제체 있는 또 단답에 조금 주주좀 돌아요. 근데 또 그런 중에 결과에 좀 어떤 지네 뭐 볼라네 잠도는스라 이기 땅에 다 볼라네 양가 사오도 잠도라 배 재미말을 시작할지 가서 뽑아가 다 강라요 공부도 남도요 말은 것도 뭐만 베토마메 빠는데 도비성의 실록미 용토요 말을 듣는지 다 그래서 경우로 남성도 듣는지 노트만 붙여서 어때 여러분이랑 세트 마원은 단다 간다 차트는 하고 말든 잠불롱 등 아주 개똥 잠불롱 토마 저비용도 듣는 경우 사병원 뛰어는 차동 사동 메동공 진짜 냠때 존중하지도 통한 잠롱도 자노 디드뷰 디강라 리경 거다 능비 수용의 전에나 타이니 사마용 타그더니 이렇게 좀 올동담 받던 게 세랑도 깨랑도 타이로 지금 배출 좀 농조든 담아 배출 로마 준더니 보모고 참아지더니 사행고 사행고 전에더니 다 사가 나던 좀 것들이 다 이렇게 겨우세 됐다 됐듯이 진행 거 직전도 작동도 쉬고 나 타만데 르비 주면 로 사야만 보잖아. 일단 내가 치는데 지금 파이에 보고서 그래. 뜻고 랑진 그 뜻이 레더스. 뜻이 담지만 더 봐서 너무 뜻이.
So when we look at the history, Rome one time is a great, I don't know what you call nations, right? Great, powerful nations, and everything's there. It's like a different kind of like uh, the realms and the kind of like this, but now it's all gone. And England one time is going to conquer in every planet, but now it's very small. And Mongolia one time, historically, like invading the whole world, but now it's very small. And the and also in Tibet, also what happened, and during the invasions, during the invasions by communists, and some part of Tibet, when they received the message toward the high-ranking official, and when they received like a message like, oh, now they're coming to our border, we have to do something, and then officials are, blindly they said like, oh, we don't have to worry, we will be taken care by, the spirit or the protector and like this. And then then they came and took everything. So this is the Dalai Lama occasionally, jokingly, he says that this is kind of foolish way to have a blind faith, something like that. And
레상나 이쯤이인데 엄마서고 단다 맞는데 지당 레세다 소소 지당시로 상무당동도 레가 지당서 거네. 노트 정나데 레세 거세. 쳔들라 마시마마 시비시마 몽거세.
And this is the the actions of the karma of our actions, and the karma of actions we have accumulated in the past life that we experiencing this life or maybe other life, and also maybe we might experience those karmic actions in the next life too. And and the also we often talk about this universal that at the beginning there wasn't anything, but from the small atom and it being collected and how it become this earth and the elements or atmosphere and everything, and then eventually we say that from the God Ram and the God came, and then they made the male and female, and they made love, and then they have more childrens, and they have the natural food and natural clothes. They don't have to work hard, and then they later, because of the self grasping, then they make boundary, they make like this and that, and then they made the king, and they made the separate, this is mine, this is your, and then this right now, what do we got here? Everything, my world and your world, and my country and your country, and then eventually after maybe eons later, then it will diminish, and it came from the from very tiny atom, and it will dissolve into tiny atom. So this is just what Buddha stated from his four seals. The first seal, all component phenomena or things are impermanent.
잠보는 제때 뒤쪽은 지고서 말은 게 당선 막 같은 소자 때문에 지금 도 양간 됐어요.
I think maybe our world is not being dissolved by material by a time, but maybe it might be destroyed by maybe weapons and nuclear.
다음 잠보는 좋겠다 아니. 로송대 당도와 다른 미교다 잠보는 시대 용하다. 근데 제가 망쳐겠다 마음와 손자손이 직질라 마 토바지 고게 판바지게서 때문에 이렇게 가서 가는 손자손 버렸어.
Because you see every world now spending their all the wealth and money not to help others and the poor people, but rather they spending money for weapons and those things for in order to us or me or my country to have a victory and them to fall.
Oh yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yes, I had a question about desire achievements and how the achievements using our senses to achieve what we need. But how can we relate our desire achievements to the concept of emptiness and relating our desire achievements to emptiness and compassion for other sentient beings?
도비 다 연된다 지라도와 무슨 도함난 네위 도비 연된다 된줄라다 된줄기 더 페이지 땅에 지라고라 된줄단 데비 당한조 아니 컨디션이 한조디 동의다 니 닝시디 페이지 땅도 레세다
그래. 다 돈이 더 양지 배주 당세도 수 상부 근홍지로 돈이 세대 싸내면 버시기가 말때 좀 하고 그러다시 돈이 세대 랑진지 말도 나도 내 치탐지 낭위 농화 탐지라니 저저로라서 롱조바지 낭고 낭아이 나지 요요 아주 다가는 덴바 요래 삼도 때 덴바 요말 안면 롱인도 치바르시 롱인도 나라게 다 저거는 저 통고 샤고를 파쇼 특빙원은 강 요말로 뭐 있잖아 멜릭멘동 동바에 특빙원을 동바를 넣었다 옛날 동바에도 동빙은 짜는 매 말자 보이는 샤르용고를 통용고 때라든 소화티고를 되는 딱돈 잔에서는 아주 뭐 탐질러네 동비영리 샤르교직에 있고 다 도도 뜻이고 동비영리 샤르인 바지가 동비는 샤르비용은 린디라서 봐 포함해 봐야 봐 따라 동비는 딘사다 안에 로아섬진 탐지네 양지 있다 간르지게잖아 아니 양지 있잖아 가서 적당 말아서 리마 딱 바래 가서 때 시기요 말 미참만 리스트 바인 삼네 선이 신도구나 대랑 뺐다 로자 처방보다 차시득니 지게요 된다 티 선이 또나 대랑 때 지게는 때 오늘 지나 말이 비용 그러 양지 따때 등을 거 디지털로 또 서지 탐지 등아 상황도 공부인데 녀모공들 레앙 사베르미 몰음지 또 기여에는 코로나 기가라 기와라랑 요래 쳐와라랑 하지 말아서 때랑 요 말. 사지 녀모지 거 기여한테 리기 지선동 대 가르치나 다 등을 때라 등을 저기 등을 차원 시 등을 안데 등을 기는 것에 등을 섬기be 연습해 봐 가서 나르기 그러지 얘한테 시가 방어도 되어 있는 사람들 그냥 쓰는 서지도 지든가 체담지 동성도 뭐 체담지 동성도 봐 건강배 농화 도지다 결혼 좋았다 저거 농이 농화도 담지 동비 양의 서샤를 맞도 파 탁돈 전에 손 들다 자는 지가면 아주 요르다스니 자는 니트 말지 결혼 때 나랑도 미쳐말로 나세 요런 나세 등하고 좀 템포진 자치 쇼때 담롱 파테테 손 나세 자치 보자다 나세한테 과하게 전 손은 나세한테 동봉을 했다는 니트고 말을 강 리 나로는 얘고 마샬라 니가 말 어때 동비야지 이나 나세한테 요한테 텔레테니 샤와는 단다 어데데 올세 틴사네 체도 도서도 하나 양을리 디와셔고스다 양은세 등을 텔리 전나 다초시디 시와레스 시와데 성이 조금 방선다 타로 토퍼시발 강고르즈나 리동 녀모니 방고르세 녀모 방당나 녀모 띠는 좀 리사가 말이 레마서나 텔레테니 등능 용 말이지 된자다 타로 토고레 뜻이 거세 더 미청 더 신체 로다는다 양지세데 등을 있잖아서 비상도도 형식으로 어때 등을 있잖아서 등을 망보도 아주 요르서 아주 미치도 말아
So I think
저와 이것도 드시죠.
Yeah, it's a good questions. Thank you very much. So I think it's really depend on the individual's motivations and how he or she use and cope with these situations, and depend on the individual, basically his or her motivations. And when we talk about emptiness, one thing is we have to remember emptiness doesn't mean it's empty at all, and all the senses, everything's empty at all. But here is what it's talking about is the when you talk about the emptiness, we talk about the from the empty, and we have all kinds of experience, such as the reflections and the object and so on and so forth. But when we investigate and try to navigate and try to find the locations or label and so forth, we cannot find it all. It's empty, but doesn't mean it's empty at all. From the emptiness, we can do all kinds of the actions and activities and so forth, like a movie. In a movie we watch the movie, in the movie we have people, the reflections, and we have a feeling, we have all kinds of feeling, and then but doesn't mean that those people and objects are really exist in that movie, but it's being created, and because of the cause and effect, we can able to see it, we can able to experience it, all kinds of experience. So emptiness is something like that, and the like this, and also the some we have to also have to understand the such as the body and the senses, and because we have misconceptions, or we often deeply we think that our very life and the body as body as a permanent, and we have a great plan that we might live like maybe couple hundred years, we but we don't. Reality, we don't, but we always plan and we work hard like we're going to live couple hundred years, but reality is not. So this all happened because of the ignorance, because of the misconceptions. And so unless individuals came to this universal out of a great motivation or great intention, they have a fully control and when to come, when to leave, and because they voluntarily come here. But person like me, and we come here, or we come here out of no control because of because of the development,
Liki naman kedua orang.
because of the karmic the creations, because of the karmic creations we came here. So therefore, again, when we look at the four seals of Buddha teaching, the first one is the all the component things are impermanence, and second one is the defilements are sufferings, and also the so therefore I think most important is here is the always the practice compassions, and it's also very useful. Yeah.
양지 공부하rs나 양지 공부 등을 있다는 사람들로. 등을 있다서 등을 등 알아도 등을 망고 요런 것도 미싱 거 말이야.
So we talk about the practice of compassion, but first of all, we have to recognize the compassion. What is a compassion? Compassion is the something that the free from wish, they have a great wish for free from suffering, and the suffering we don't recognize. We don't recognize the suffering, and the suffering of there are all kinds of suffering of aging, sickness, and the sickness, and also the suffering of birth, and pervasive suffering, and we know the suffering, but we really don't know the suffering actually. And because, as I mentioned, we don't live that long, but we always plan and put in action like we're going to live like couple hundred years. And even though we have a suffering of aging, we don't recognize. And so that's why
That's the one.
okay.
Okay. Ja, 단도만 논어리네.
Now we saw the dedications on page number.
잠시만 와.
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you, Temple. If you would like to make a donation to support the monks and monastery, it would be greatly appreciated, or just a prayer in the bowl. Thank you.
We'll say the dedications on page number 80, 80 Lumbering Prayer.
此时的那宗巴的耶西，特的那耶道的中心，扎西将所受过加热节。则为拉玛人我是当所尼个巴米当主那卡真真波波尼是松的可松的节目着咋的所上就生就人不是马杰巴那是就经结果娘把没办样，公的公德陪我说，阿罗为古为上看的，盼到的我马里永远呢，家里人往天子要所以。下辈子的好的天节节，将把我今儿等天把当，功德上不这样的心的，得到关键就是到罗江，给我得到堂姐让等我。耶稣小别叫我他们姐，我刚把求得我把的，大人因为在我的工匠，让不就是让得我玩结，偏得用你干巴的相接，偏着给我当这个刚上。你见跟我的见永远的，上夜当我道的结局去，才肉功德要我从高位，但做新年我是在别度，要为我别浪上的年里，感觉怎样都不马日去。